This is Nothing Coherent. I'm Brandon.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Ryan.
So today's episode is going to be a little different. We don't have a big topic, so our topic is going to be some reviews of some movies and some spoiler talk as well. We did get the chance to attend an early screening of the Lego Movie 2, which we will talk about later. But we're going to actually open with Zach's going to talk about bargain binning.
Okay, guys, so I said that if I got the Burger King games, I would do all 3 of them. And I did. And let me tell you...
And Zach's still alive. This is not a robot of Zach.
No, I'm good. I barely survived Sneak King. This game is so utterly boring. You just run around and you just sneak up on... to a person, and you just press the A button, and then this little meter comes up, and it's all in the timing, and if you just press A within 2 seconds, you win. I figured out the trick really quick, and I got a score of over, 300,000 points. And I was like, this game is boring, and there's nothing to do. I did get stuck on, the very last mission, because I could not figure out how the map worked or whatever. But I was like, okay, I get the point of the game. You go up to people and you sneak up behind them and you deliver food to them.
Now, hold on. For the record, Sneak King was the most popular of the Burger King games.
Right.
It is the most expensive Burger King game right now at $2.99.
Okay.
It's the hardest. It's also the hardest one to find.
Now, let me tell you, though, of the Trinity, I think this is the worst. These two, Big Bumpin' and Pocket Bike Racer... This is basically just lesser Mario Kart on bikes.
I love the cheesy...
I know what I just said. It sounds ridiculous.
I like the cheeseburger and the chicken guy.
The best thing was playing as a Whopper Jr., and I got a missile, and I completely annihilated Burger King. And I was like, I've never wanted something more in my life than to just destroy Burger King. For all the times they've messed up my food. I killed Burger King. It was great. This game would be really fun if you had a group of people. Big Bumpin' is even better.
You know what would be cool is if McDonald's came with their own game to rival
actually,
those.
there is a
but not
the
Game Boy.
Yeah, I guess they did have the purple guy.
Grimace.
Grimace.
The problem is McDonald's mascots are only Ronald now. There's no more. They don't use Grimace.
They got rid of all of them.
They used the Hamburglar. This is gonna sound really weird that I know this. They did the Hamburglar, and then there was controversy because he was too sexy, so they stopped using him.
Too sexy?
Yes.
I remember that!
Someone had some weird fetish with him, and they
Yeah,
found
no,
out,
but
and they're whoa,
back
kids.
in the NES days, there was a game called Mick Kids that came out.
They were all the way up to Game Boy.
Yeah, they had McDonald's.
I had a Sega Genesis one.
And but no, I'm actually surprised that more companies don't do this sort of thing. These games were sold for I think $5 a piece or something like that.
If you bought a value meal, it was $5.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's around that price. But if you didn't, it was $10 a game.
I had Big Bumpin' and Pocket Bike Racer actually as a kid. I never had Sneak King because
I never had Big Bumpin'. That was the one I couldn't find.
But I got both of those, and my brother and I remember we played them a lot, and they're actually really fun with a group of multiple people.
Now, inside, though, is the Burger King credit card. I don't know if it's still around.
It's probably not.
And 48 hours to Xbox Live Gold.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if we can still use that.
We probably can.
I mean, this was used. I'll be surprised.
So if I was Taco Bell, I would make my own game where you eat as much Taco Bell and you have to get to the nearest bathroom as soon as possible with obstacles and everything.
One of my favorite
you could literally make
product
that into
games
a game
that I really wish I could find a copy of, but I know it's probably only in Japan, is Pepsi Man the game.
Yeah, I think that's a Japanese.
I think that's only Japanese. But I remember, when I first heard of Pepsi Man, I was like, can we just get a Pepsi Man comic where he fights the evil Dr. Pepper? I would totally be into that. Just sodas being superheroes and all this other nonsense. Anyway, Sneak King, if you want 20 minutes or 30 minutes just to kill some time, sure. It would actually probably be a really fun mobile game. Not something I would play.
Why? Okay, hold on though.
You heard it first from us, Burger King. You heard it first from us.
But Big Bumpin' was actually kind of fun. If you had a group of 2 to 4 people to just sit down and play games when these came out, I could see these being a fun way to pass time. And for their price, they're not bad games. They're actually okay.
Here's something confuses me on the box.
Okay.
Not that our audio listeners can see. So, Xbox Live was included in the corner of these games when it meant they could be played online. Why does Sneak King Is this just how lazy it was? Because there's not any online multiplayer features.
No, there's not.
But why is
That
it an
caught
Xbox
my
Live
attention
stick?
too.
Well, so
Like,
I thought Xbox, when the 360 first came out, that they started putting live on everything to like promote the live. Not necessarily that
they
was
might
live.
have, but like,
'Cause I thought
I don't remember that for certain games.
Yeah,
but-
there's
a few games that
I have Condemned and Cameo,
Yeah.
and neither one of them have Xbox Live.
Banjo Kazooie.
But, I mean-
Yeah, because they had the online feature of the share
Yeah.
creation thing.
For what they are,
Because I was like,
I wasn't
remember
mad.
that.
but Sneak King was just kind of dull.
Yeah,
What
no.
if there's actually a whole online like world for Sneak King? We have no idea about it.
There might be.
A community. All right, we should probably. So here's the deal: if it's one,
Okay, let's let
Okay.
them know. So, Brandon's went, Zach's went, and now they're saying that I need to go without without mixing?
we'll roll it again, and me or you will go. So if it's
Okay,
1,
perfect.
3, or 5, you'll go.
Okay,
if
I've
it's
got the
2,
odds.
4, 6, I'll go. And the games we have this
Come
time
on,
are
Ryan.
Blowout, Charlie's Angels, Looney Tunes Back in Action, Duke Nukem Forever, Aquaman, and Batman Vengeance.
Okay, so this first roll is for
Who's
who is
going?
going to go, and then punishment will be the next roll. Okay. It's 2.
So it's
Yeah.
Ryan.
No, it's Brandon. I had
Yeah.
odds.
Oh, it's Brandon.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not playing it, so but roll it. 2, so it's Charlie's Angels. That's fine. I can play it. It's unplayable.
You must watch. You must watch the movie.
But
How
so-
did Ryan escape? Ryan's
That's
just
my
gonna be on a
grandmaster plan.
Ryan's
I'll
gonna-
never
This
play.
is why Ryan argued with us about
Ryan's
how we
gonna-
wanted to switch it to. But
Ryan's gonna be on a streak of like 10 weeks where
Yeah.
he doesn't have to play anything.
so I'm just gonna be honest with everyone listening. We're recording this a day before Kingdom Hearts comes out. I mean, I'll try this, but I know you can't even get past the first level because it's broken.
Just watch the AVG and review.
It's
and memorize the
unplayable.
script.
Like I'm not kidding. It's basically a free pass for somebody.
So what we should do is tonight we should
we should
crank
boot it up.
We should crank this bad boy up.
Yeah, and just see what happens.
and just watch Brandon play, and then we can all take our jab at it.
Yeah,
and we may do
I'm
something
okay with
special
that.
where we record that and post it or something.
I'm okay with
Alright.
that.
So we can do something like that. But Charlie's Angels, everybody, Nintendo GameCube. It's the best game there is on the market.
So now we're gonna move into our kind of what we've been watching and what we've been playing.
Yeah, but not getting into
Not the big ones.
The big ones.
So
Okay.
yeah, almost everything that we've watched almost is some of the stuff that we're going to talk about later. So
I did do a few things. I continue to watch Young Justice. They dropped out. They decided to just drop up to episode 13. I don't really know what was happening or like why they decided to do that. So I had to like cram a bunch of episodes. So I only got 7 through 11. It's getting better. I was a little worried with that lull in episode 4 through 6. The problem is, one of the characters, Brion, he's not really a great character. He's kind of boring, and they spend a lot of time with him, which is very unfortunate. But everything else that's happening in the world, the way it's evolving, it's super interesting. And I'm hoping that they just introduced Cyborg for the first time. There's a lot of cool things.
Fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things they're doing, and hopefully, episode 13 will probably be like, I mean, it'll be the mid-season finale or cutoff. So I'm hoping by then that there's something really cool happening. I saw. So I'll tell that one last. So I played a game called Y2K, postmodern RPG.
Okay.
I was super excited for this. It looks like Earthbound.
Really?
It looks like a spiritual successor to Earthbound.
That already excites me.
So I played about 4 hours, and I don't like it.
Oh, never mind.
It sucks because I was super into it. The combat is awesome.
Okay.
So like, there's your main hero throws records at people.
Okay.
But the way to do it is, so a record player spins, and you have to time the hit. So there's 2 yellow ones that spin by and a red.
Sure.
And every time you hit a yellow, that's an extra point. And then the red is another respin.
Okay.
And then, like, your party has different things they do. Like, one of them throws a cat. So, like, you hold the joystick back, and you have to launch it right at the right time.
Right.
Kind of like Paper Mario when you did the hammer.
Okay.
There's cool things about it. The combat is awesome. The world is kind of cool, and the designs are neat. But the story just hasn't hooked me. I might try to play a little bit more
Yeah.
later, but it's just not. Currently, it's not for me, which sucks because I pre-ordered it the minute it was available.
Yeah.
It looked so cool. I also played Resident Evil 2. The remake just came out 2 days ago. I'm an hour in the Leon's campaign. Decided to stop. One, because I want my fiance to watch, because it made me jump a few times.
You forgot about certain parts of the game?
What it is they've actually just completely redone the story.
Really?
They've taken the big moments from Resident Evil 2, but a lot of things are switched. And they've done it. They've done it in their own way. So I say that the game came out 99 or 98. Yeah. So it has been 21 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The last time I remember playing it was 99.
Okay.
So granted, it could be the same.
Yeah.
What I remember versus what it is. I like the world. I love Resident Evil. It's like one of my favorite horror franchises. It's one of my favorite gaming franchises.
It's really good.
I hate that we didn't talk about that one, but it's a strong recommend from me. Like, I'm gonna play more of it and I'll beat it, but I need to, like, I'm trying to just set everything aside
for Kingdom Hearts.
And I played one other thing. I started playing the Pokemon trading card game one night because I didn't want to do school, and I went on. You can play it online, but I made Zach the other night sit down with me and learn.
Yeah, and I actually enjoyed it. It was actually kind of fun to actually sit down and play a card game for the first time in years, because
those type of games, I feel like once I get going, like, I don't stop for like days.
Yeah, it's gonna
weeks,
be bad.
Sometimes months.
This morning, so there's a daily bonus when you log in.
Oh,
you can get free packs and stuff.
They get you on those.
So I was like, this morning when I got up, I went and logged in to get my coins for the day.
Like I do in Golf Battle.
Yes. We can have a little segment with Golf Battle.
So I watched On the Basis of Sex, which I'm bringing this up because I'm going to tell the funny story that encountered with it. So I bought play tickets because there's a Broadway play coming through town. That was like the one that got me into Broadway plays. And I had my mind set that it was last Thursday. I was super confident. So me and my fiance, we dress up. We go out to a nice steakhouse here in town. And we're sitting there at dinner, and I'm like, I'm going to double check to make sure I wasn't wrong on the time. Make sure we have plenty of time to eat and get to the theater. Sure. And I look online, and it says next Thursday. And I was like...
Oh, no.
I was like, no. I was like, it's this Thursday. No. And so I like kind of like laughingly was like, hey, babe, can you hand me the tickets? And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, please just hand me them. And I look at them, and they all say the 31st. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So we were like, well, we're already out. Let's just go see something. And literally the only thing playing was On the Basis of Sex. That was like within an hour and a half of us. So we saw it. It's okay. It's well acted. It's just meh. Like, the big buildup is the case. And it doesn't happen until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. And then it's kind of just over. And it's like, okay. Like, I don't really know what that was all about. But I get the historical value behind it. Like, it's a story that should be told, especially the day and age we're living in. Well, debatably, but I get why it exists. But I think it could have been better. It wasn't super interesting, and it sucks because they have like an all-star cast with Felicity Jones and Armie Hammer being the leads. But overall, it's like a 6. Like, I wouldn't rush out to see it. But and then the last thing is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I actually made Zach watch some of this, and I'm only really doing this.
We watched like 8 episodes, I think.
Yeah, I'm only really doing this because everyone needs to watch season 6. You need to watch it legally. That's the only way we're getting more people. I still love this show. It's a little rough, but it's picked back up. I was a little worried with the first episode. I was like,
I enjoyed what I watched, but again, this is my first time experiencing Brooklyn
you watched
Nine-Nine.
season 5.
A little bit of 5, and I think like 1 or 2 of 6. I don't even know.
Where can you watch the first seasons?
All of it's on Hulu.
It's all
on
Hulu.
Hulu now. Cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I watched so much that I'm going to start watching it.
Yeah, NBC got it. NBC has to deal with Hulu.
Yeah.
So that means it'll be a Disney show soon enough. No. That's a lie. Don't listen to me. Fox had it, and then Fox dropped it, and then NBC picked it up. But, so yeah, it's all on Hulu. So that's all I did, which was a lot, but...
Okay. Since we're covering basically 2 weeks time period, obviously I played the Burger King games. I already said what I had to say about those.
Zoom past those.
Yes. I played a little bit more Fallout New Vegas. I'm doing an NCR route right now. I'm going for like a stealth sniper guy, and I'm using the companion Boone, who I've never really used before. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. But other than that, this week I didn't play a whole lot of games. I've been playing a lot of Golf Battle, just on breaks at work and stuff. and it's become my new favorite mobile game to play. It's super basic,
Oh
but
my gosh, you're lazy.
a whole lot of fun for whatever reason. I'm just really enjoying it.
Yeah, we've been playing Golf Battle for,
Yeah.
well, it's been a little bit for me, but it's starting to grow, and I'm starting to notice that more and more people are playing it, so...
A lot more people at work have been playing it.
So I'm going to sell you guys on this game. So
Okay.
So the premise of the game, I'm going to die real quick just so I can show, is you just
Okay.
click anywhere on the screen, it moves back and forth, and you have to dodge these blocks.
Ooh, okay.
It's $1, but you want to guess what the name of the game is?
Dodge block.
Nope.
Nothing coherent.
I wish.
It's called Ding Dong XL.
Ding Dong XL. I'm going to write that down.
This game is 99 cents. It also has...
So, my question is, how did you find
Hold
it,
on.
and why did you buy it? Okay, so it's party music.
Yeah, okay.
It has some really cool music. I bought it because another podcast I was listening to recommended it, and they're like, it's $1. They're like, we know, like the creator tries really hard. So I was like, I have $1 throw away.
Yeah, okay.
And then I bought it and I started playing it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty addicting.
Okay.
So it doesn't. I think it's really cool. It's $1. Like.
And you said it was Ding
Dong XL.
I wrote it down. Okay, but yeah, things I've watched really was just Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which we just talked a little bit about. And then I guess I could do anime because that's really what else I watched.
Do you have anything you want to talk about before we do anime with the boys?
Black Mirror, the Bandersnatch deal. I did that on Netflix. That was 2 weeks ago. If you guys don't know what that is, basically you play
to choose your own adventure.
That
sounds cool.
Yeah, and you get to make decisions. And so like it plays like a scene, and then you have to pick a decision. Like it's a 50-50 kind of shot at whatever you think should happen. There's like multiple like ways it could end.
There were 7 endings.
Yes.
Don't quote me on that.
Something like
7.
that, though.
We got 4 of them. So
yes, I went ahead and played it through on one, and then I played it through several. It's kind of it's not exhausting, but it's just kind of like very.
I don't know. By the end, I was
bland,
like, yeah.
And you're like, this is just kind of weird and makes you feel weird after it. And
I think the idea is really cool.
Yeah, the idea is fantastic. Which they've done this a few times with other things. This isn't the first.
This is the first. Like live action, like this. I mean, like gaming.
Yeah, well, gaming and everything.
But like a movie, this is the first time I think.
Well, and what I like about it, at the very beginning, you learn that he is like the kid, it likes to create games that are basically.
Well, he's trying to bait one off a book that's based on the situation that we're in.
So it's kind of a weird thing, and it's a weird plot kind of deal, and. Anyways, the kid that reminds me of Sid off Toy Story or whatever. So just to get that picture in your guys' minds, if you guys decide to play through this weird little game thing,
it's like an hour and a half. I think it's worth it if you're curious, but if not,
I don't know. I was just curious enough to play, and then I'm like, gosh, I have to see all the rest. So I started playing through it, and then I got curious enough to look it up at the very end. But
yeah, we got. I don't remember what ending we got as our true ending.
Yeah.
The true ending, I think, is the train ending.
Oh.
Where it has the time travel and it gets really weird.
I don't know. And then when there's an option where you can do like LSD or whatever.
Did you get the ending? I'm spoiling this because it's a comedic ending. You can jump out the window in the therapist office, and it jumps out to the soundstage, and the guy's just cut, and it cuts to black.
And then
that's pretty good.
And
there's also
someone spilled the coffee, and then when they're fighting, when the therapist, that's when everything starts to really happen. Is whenever he meets with the therapist the last time or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I lied. The true ending is not the train ending; it's the future ending.
Oh, yeah.
It's where it's the girl playing the game. You have to get the game a perfect score and not get caught. And then it shows who's out there.
I don't know. It sounds like there's a kid.
We have a random visitor outside of our
studio.
Our studio.
It's where you get the perfect score and not get caught. And so it shows the future of basically history repeating itself. Sorry, so Ryan's running around trying to look out our window.
Looking out the window.
We have a door you can open, right? Did you see who it was? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery person.
Can you see our dogs?
No. We'll have to go kill somebody if they take our dogs.
I'll let you keep talking. I'll just double check. I'll just open the door.
Okay.
Zach's vomit door. Anyway,
the door I puked on.
Yeah.
Way back in episode 1. That may or may not.
Way back 6 weeks ago.
Well, I mean, it depends. Somebody might be listening to this in the archive. You never know. Like-
Anyways, so this Black Mirror thing, it's kind of interesting. So if you're really, really bored and have nothing to do, but you want to kind of participate but not completely zone out, then I would say you're good to play this game, but it is very, very strange. So if you like weird, deep thought, kind of choice life games, then just do that. Let's see. I actually, so Brandon is now talking to some people.
Whoever is outside.
Our
They are-
mystery people outside
They're
now.
paying attention to the puppies that are outside.
Yes, so they're looking at our dogs, I think. So.
Yeah, just some kids. They tell me how much I love my dog.
I like Pongo, is what I heard.
The little girl likes Dexter.
Oh,
Aw. They're both good dogs.
well, they better not snatch them. That's all I have to say.
I'd like to see them
They're
try to take
covered in mud,
Pongo.
though.
Huh?
They're covered in mud.
Oh, well.
It's pretty bad out there.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep on going here. So,
This is the weirdest opening for what we've been watching and doing.
yeah, so Mario 64. I decided to crank the 64 out.
Oh, there
I
you
got my
go.
little back piece finally. I had to order the adapter
Video
to my
adapter.
64 to it. But anyways, I played it for a little bit, and then I wanted to play Odyssey, so I went ahead and played Mario Odyssey right after that for just a little bit. I didn't have a lot of time. And then that led into Super Smash Bros. I played a little bit of that, so all on the same day. So it was kind of fun, but stuff that we've talked about multiple times now. And then last night, for just maybe a couple hours, I decided to play 2K Live. It's literally just NBA 2K, but you can play in a 5-on-5 team, and you just pick one player, and you get to play with all these other people. And I will tell you that the people that you play online really, really hate everybody, and they just cuss you out if you mess up at all. And so they're very angry people that play on NBA 2K. But anyways, and also some people just do not know how to play the game. But
That's
just
fair.
like anything on live games, you always find that inexperienced person that's probably 5 years old trying to play. So, yeah, that's basically about it. Even 2 weeks, besides the movies that we watched, that was all I can think of. I probably definitely missed something. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that now, but I can't really think of anything that's...
Yeah, the problem is it's been 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll jump into anime with the boys.
Okay,
Um,
so do we want to...
We can do-
Promised Neverland.
yeah, so we've kept up with it. More episode 3 is
I'm
out as of
enjoying
this
it.
recording.
I'm enjoying it more and more with each episode, which I thought was not going to happen after the first episode had such a strong ending.
Mm-hmm.
But everything with the kids after finding out what's going on,
Yeah.
like Emma and Norman and now
Ray.
Ray, they all know, and they're all like, well, we've got to get out of here,
Yeah.
basically. And they all have their own idea or plan of what they should do, because they're all such strong characters that I'm like, I could see your plan working, I could see your plan working, but you all need to come together for the good of everybody else that's there.
Right.
So
Well,
far,
I
my
think they all
favorite
need to meet in the
character is
middle.
Emma.
Yeah.
I think Emma's the strongest of the three. I think she's a really good lead.
I think Norman is my favorite because he's a perfect balance.
Yeah, between
the
the other two. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but the scene where she hugs the mom,
Yeah, and the mom's trying to figure out who knows the
who
secret.
knows the secret. I'm just like, dude, that is so good, because she's basically treading on the thinnest ice she possibly can to not getting caught, and it's
Then she just smiles and she's
Yeah.
like, I hope Connie's okay.
yeah, and I'm just like, man, she is selling it that she knows nothing, and I love it, because I'm like, what would you do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? The characters are all really unique, and they introduced this new character just now in the last episode. She's also really creepy.
Yeah, I like her a lot. So for the record, I have now read the first 7 volumes of the manga. I actually went out and bought all of them since episode 1.
I know you. I'm like,
And-
you need to stop.
And I have read them all. I enjoy where the story goes. I actually prefer the manga to the anime, but that's just because the manga gets to spend more time
Yeah.
with the characters because they're not trying to rush. I think I know where season 1's going to end, which is really unfortunate if they're trying to get to where I think they're going.
Yeah.
But I love the series. I love the characters. I love the depth, the world they're creating. I'm excited to see where we get to go and what gets to happen. And this
Yeah.
world is super interesting.
Well, I hope that comes soon, because I want them to get out as soon as possible for me.
Yeah, I think
because I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
But maybe if I read it, I'll have a different perspective. But I don't really want to get into spoilers since that's such a new.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe
series.
spoil it. We'll have to spoil it eventually.
Well, once it's finished, like I guess we can do a whole, review
Well, we thought of
it.
season 1.
Yeah, but I watched a little bit more One Punch Man this week. Ryan, have you finished it yet, or?
No, I'm still at that last episode.
Okay.
Well, good, because he only watched 10
I
episodes.
watched
8.
6, 7, and 8 today.
Yeah, 'cause you're-
And of the 3 episodes that I watched, I really liked the episode where he destroyed the meteor the most. So far, out of all the episodes I've watched, because I was like, okay, for all intents and purposes, this is a comedy show, but his reasoning for destroying that meteor, I was like, that's really heroic. He was like, I don't do this for you all or for any appreciation from anybody. I do this because I want to, because he feels compelled to, save people. Like, all these other, Class S or Class A heroes, from what I've seen so far, they're like, oh, well, if I do this, I'll move up in the ranking and I'll be more famous, I'll be more popular. Like, in the episode with the Sea King, which was the last one that I just watched.
He hasn't finished it, by the way, right?
No, I finished the episode where, Geno showed up right at the very end through the hole in the wall where he threw out, the Class B hero.
Right, so it
it cut
you haven't
off.
finished the fight,
Right, I have not finished the fight.
which sucks, because that next episode is the one I like the
Yeah.
most.
But, and I'll probably watch it and then probably just run back in here and turn everything on and be like, that was awesome! You never know. But, I really
You're laying in bed, you're like, how'd you get in my house? Yeah, this is the audio.
I really like all these new characters that they're introducing, all these heroes with these weird powers and stuff. Even though the Tank Top Brothers are jerks, I thought their designs were really cool, and I thought what they were doing was funny. Moomin Rider
Moomin Rider.
is so good.
And I feel for him. He's the
Yeah,
character.
He's kind of become
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
He's just trying his best.
He
you
just
know?
wants to help.
Yeah, he's a bike
When you're
courier
trying
essentially,
your best,
and you don't
succeed.
I thought they killed him in that one episode where the guy just decked him in the face, and I was like, oh, they freaking killed him. I'm glad that he's alive because I want him to succeed. But
It'd be kind of interesting if
Saitama's just great. I love everything with him.
if he just his secret power was he could withstand one man's punch.
Well,
just his actual.
if he could just take the
actual
punch.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet, actually. It's just out of nowhere.
That's his secret power. He can't die,
He can't die. That'd be kind of cool.
but he can't kill.
Yeah, but
Kill.
no. I really liked what I've seen so far. All the villains are really cool too. All of them have unique designs and things like that. There was this weird hair monster thing that he fought
Oh, right, the
on the way
seaweed
back
thing.
from the grocery store where
Yeah.
those.
Well, and they're
two
like, who
heroes.
even lives in the city? It's monster infested. It's like
Yeah.
someone's just walking down
He's
the
just
street.
walking down the street, and I'm like, "Oh, you're about to die!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I forgot this at home." And it's something to help him with growing hair.
Yeah.
That you can eat. And he takes her hair or whatever it is, and it's putting it in the food.
Oh, yeah, because he cooks her
Yeah,
hair. He
yeah.
cooks
He
her
cooks
hair.
her hair and he eats it. And I'm like, this is good
Kinda
stuff,
weird.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this show's
no.
really weird.
It is weird, but I love it. It's one of my favorites that I've been watching recently. I'm really enjoying it and hope that I actually finish it this
Yeah.
week so that we can all just talk about it freely because it's really fun.
I need to find somewhere that's streaming Mob Psycho so we can talk about that next, because I
Yeah.
think you'd like that more.
Probably. I mean, it's made by the same guy, isn't it? So
And I like
maybe.
the animation a lot more. I like the honestly, I like everything more about Mob,
Really?
which sucks because I loved One Punch Man, but I think Mob Psycho is the better one.
And you know what? That's fine. Sometimes that just happens where you watch a different show and you're like, oh, I like this more. I still prefer the original Dragon Ball over everything else Dragon Ball related, even Super. Or
Oh, Dragon
Silly.
Ball! I was
Yeah.
you prefer Z over Kai? What's wrong with you?
No, Kai is my second favorite because I like that they follow the manga a lot closer and they cut out a lot of the extra stuff. But that's all I've got for Anime with the Boys and what I've been doing and everything before we get into our main topic. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
You want to chime in on One Punch or?
No, not really.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 12. So, we are moving into Broly first.
Okay.
We saw Dragon Ball Super Broly. Me and Zach did. Not that we were trying to exclude Ryan. Tickets in our
No,
town.
They were excluded.
Our tickets in our town sold out the
They
same
sold out
day.
extremely
Same
fast.
day.
If it wasn't for Brandon just getting mine, I wouldn't have been able to go.
Yeah.
I cried myself to sleep.
It was
that
sold out. They've been adding showings. Like
and
they have
sell
some.
out like within an hour.
Yeah, our town is crazy for it.
Yeah.
So this, if you haven't seen Super, this movie doesn't really spoil it, but we're probably gonna have to spoil some things.
Yeah.
We'll try to leave anything that's not in the marketing. We won't spoil.
Yeah.
So like we'll leave jokes and some of the fights. But so
Yeah.
I like the opening a lot.
The opening is strong.
So the movie is almost two different movies,
Yeah.
which I like. I wish this is Toriyama made a 3-hour cut.
Yeah.
I want to just see the 3-hour cut.
Yeah. I do
Because
too.
it opens with, on Planet Vegeta, it shows Broly's origins, shows Bardock, mixed
Yeah.
Bardock, it totally retcons.
They make you sympathize for Bardock and Gine a lot.
Yeah, it retcons all Bardock, father of Goku. It is,
They take a really good look at what made Dragon Ball Minus work and expand on it.
yeah. It took the
Because-
best parts of Minus.
Yeah, because there are parts of Minus that I'm not a fan of, but I really like what they did with like how Bardock was like, well, I'm so used to destroying everything.
I want to save something.
I wanna
from
save
this. I was like,
something.
I was like, that's a powerful line.
I loved that.
I liked Vegeta's. Okay, so Vegeta, the King
Yeah.
Vegeta, had a reason for sending Broly away, which one was selfish, but two made sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
He gives a reason, and
I
at
was
first
like-
you're like, you're just being a douche, and then you think about it as the movie progresses, you're like, you're a douche, but you're right.
He's
Like,
not wrong.
You were right.
He was like, Broly's
So
so
strong,
powerful
it's gonna,
that
like-
he'll be unstable and he'll be the destruction of our entire race.
Yeah.
And they made Paragus' motivation and Broly's motivation to get back at Vegeta instead of in the
Goku.
originals being about Goku and how he made Broly cry.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that happened.
So this villain's motivation originally was when he was a baby. He was next to Goku in like the same cradles, and Goku cried so much it upset Broly.
And it
So his
caused
entire
him-
motivation was Broly was going to kill Goku because of that.
Because he made him cry.
Yeah,
He
wouldn't stop crying.
yeah.
Or wouldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
Oh.
It like caused something to trigger in Broly that like made him so mad that he destroyed an entire galaxy.
Yeah, it is. The motivation originally was so dumb, but the new movie fixes it. It gives.
They give you personal animosity between the characters, like, and the best part is like, they don't know what Frieza did. Like,
Yeah.
they don't know that Frieza's the reason that Planet Vegeta was destroyed.
Right. So these two, the Paragon and Broly, join Frieza and come to Earth to fight Goku. Well, Frieza's basically like, you can have your revenge on Vegeta,
But
Goku's
Goku's
mine.
Yeah.
And then Goku steps in, so they fight. The fight is so cool.
yes.
Vegeta just wrecks house.
I loved everything with Vegeta versus Broly, and then Goku versus Broly is really good.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so good.
There's a few good moments. The animation is just beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It looks amazing. I get there are a few shots here and there. Like, we can't spoil that. But there's a shot
Yeah.
later on towards the end of the movie where like their faces look weird.
Oh, is it right? Yeah,
I did a pose.
the weird,
yeah.
the weird pose scene. Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks really bad. But because it's a comedy scene, I kind of let it slide.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
didn't care. It wasn't like My Hero where they just didn't have faces.
Yeah, that was really bad because that was like right at the beginning of the movie. This is like 3/4.
It's
of
towards
the
the
way
end.
through.
They brought our checks out at
Yeah.
Alamo by then.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, but they're clearly making a big joke out of what's happening, and there's even visual gags on screen for what they're trying to do.
But
Like,
I thought the humor really worked.
oh yeah, no, the reason for like them collecting the Dragon Balls in this movie is so good. Like, Bulma just, can we say it?
We can
Like-
probably spoil that joke.
Okay.
Bulma just wants to be 5 years younger.
Bulma wants to look up and appear 5 years younger, and then Frieza's
trying to grow 5 centimeters
he
because he's
wants to
like,
grow
if not,
5
it'll be
centimeters
noticed.
taller. And I'm like, this is literally the same wish from Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah, I leaned
Like,
over to Zach and I was like,
Commander
are we
Red.
just watching Red Ribbon again?
I was like, this is amazing. Like, they gave Frieza an actual sense of humor in this movie.
Yeah, I
Like-
loved. They also introduced the internet's new favorite waifu.
Oh, Chile? Or,
Yeah,
I can't remember how to say her name.
the internet has gone a little crazy with that. Kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Anytime there's a new Dragon Ball female, you just see
Yeah, I'm gonna
artwork
stay off
everywhere.
the internet, but overall, I'd say
I
the
think
voice.
that-
We saw the English dub.
Yep,
Only way it's playing in our town, which I prefer the dub.
I do too. Sean Shamel and Chris Sabat.
I have a lot of respect for oh my gosh, what's Goku's Japanese voice actress?
I can't remember.
I remember Luffy's, can't remember hers.
I
But I have a lot of
pronounce the
respect.
name.
I have a lot of respect for her, but I love Schimmel. The dub is great.
Yeah. That's one of the few that I can watch either way, but I still have a preference.
Mhm.
And that's just because I grew up with the dub.
The only reason I like the Japanese more, well, I don't like it more, is their scenes. Like when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2,
Yeah, there's
Cell
some
versus
scenes.
Trunks,
Mhm.
like those with the music that plays behind and the intensity and the. But
Yeah,
so anyway, so with final score on this, I give it a 9.
I would say 9.
It is a phenomenal Dragon Ball. It's probably one of the best anime movies.
I'd
Anime
say,
movies based
yeah.
on a show
Mhm.
that I've seen and I liked.
Yeah.
And the animation is original. It looks super crisp.
I would
It looks
just
like it's right out of the
love-
manga.
I would love for us to just get an entire series about Planet Vegeta.
Yeah.
I don't think that will ever happen because we know the end of Planet Vegeta. We know its fate and everything, but I would love that. And if we could, and I know it's probably never going to happen, I would love a Future Trunks spinoff as well. I don't think that will happen, but those are two things that I've always wanted from the Dragon Ball universe because as much as I love Goku and Vegeta and like Gohan and Piccolo and all those other characters, I want them to expand the universe and make it bigger and show us different characters from time to time because and Super especially got me excited with Universe 6. I was like, I want to see Hit, I want to see Frost, I want to see all these characters. And now with this new movie and they've got a new version of Broly, I'm like, please don't give us just that and then be done with it. Give us more. And I don't think they've actually given an official word on if Super's going to continue, but I'm like 100% positive that it will after the response the movie got.
Yeah. So we should move on so Ryan can finally talk again.
Yeah.
Ryan's just sitting there like,
I
yeah.
don't know what's going on
Yeah.
We're gonna
that
move
sounds
on to the
great.
Lego Movie 2, which we got to see an advanced screening of. So we saw this our local. So I guess they did this nationwide because AMC was posting some ads Friday night that hey, we're doing a special Lego Movie screening.
And it was kind of last second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah, we got the tickets a week ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not even a full week.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, I was actually getting ready to buy Lego Movie tickets for the opening night because we decided we're gonna go see it that Thursday night, and then they were like, you can see it this night or you can see it early, and I was like, done.
Yeah, absolutely
So-
see it early.
So I like sent out a group text. I was like, hey guys, I was like, they're up. You can buy. It's
I
a victory
immediately
member, so you
grabbed
can only
one.
buy one if you're
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I was like, just do what you want.
Yep.
But so we saw it. Ryan is one of the biggest Lego Movie fans I know. So we're gonna let him open since we just talked for.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
For a
get
whole
to talk
bit.
again, guys. I'm so excited.
Don't abuse it.
Okay. I get
Get
1
the
minute of
tape
talking time, and then I have to shut up for another 30 minutes. No, okay, so I think I've said this in a previous podcast, but I wasn't that excited for this Lego Movie 2 just because it's been 5 years, and I just haven't been that excited, and there's been a lot of delays, and I don't know, and they changed, didn't they change,
Phil Lord and Chris Miller didn't come
yes,
back, but they
yes.
produced it.
Okay,
So,
so
they
had a
got them in a
different-
producer role instead
yeah,
of a director.
Yeah, I can't remember how that all got switched up. Anyways, so anytime something like that with something that great comes out, I'm usually not as excited when it's that big of a gap. But to deem the critics and everything, I thought it was really, really fun. It was, I would say, just as good as Lego Movie, the first Lego Movie. I haven't seen the first Lego Movie in probably about a year. I was going to watch it again before, but I didn't realize I was going to be watching it 2 weeks early. So I do kind of want to watch Lego Movie 1 again. It does make me want to see it. And in the movie, it's 5 years later.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
That
so
was
it
the thing I
ages
liked.
5 years
That was
later,
very
which is very
clever that they
interesting.
did that.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, but the movie actually ages 5 years. So like the kids at the end of the first movie
Are
or the
5
kids.
years
Well,
older.
yeah,
It's kids.
Yeah,
Because it ends
because-
with, him
yes.
coming downstairs, and then
yeah, the girls.
the
in
girl,
it. Yeah, the
he's
girl's
like,
in
I mean,
it,
it-
and she's very tiny. Yeah,
yeah.
she's very small. Which
Yeah.
they make. They go back and forth a little bit on references from the first Lego Movie too. So that kind of is an interesting tie-in. But they kind of it's done really, really well because whenever you're watching the Lego Movie, you're thinking about what's actually happening in real life.
Right.
And like how the Legos are actually reacting
interacting,
to it.
yeah.
Yes, and it's like the more you think about it, the more little things they tie into it. Like why
Right.
is this brighter over, and stuff like
Right.
that. And so you start looking into it. So really, especially the second half of the movie, you start to see the elements come alive a lot
Oh, yeah.
more when it comes to actual real life to the Legos reality. I think Emmett's character is like the same old Emmett that kind of
the same lovable old.
Yes, like, and he tries to change throughout the movie. I won't like.
Yeah, so he meets up in the trailer. It shows Rex Dangerfield, isn't that it?
Yeah,
Danger
so
Vest,
that's
whatever.
a
Danger
big,
Vest. Yeah, so
and
he
he's
tries
got
to
all the-
he tries
to
to
be
him.
like him because Rex is everything that Lucy wants. Lucy wants him to grow up because they're in this post-apocalyptic time that Emmett is still set in the ways of the first movie that like everything is awesome and all this and like the world is perfect. There's no like
Don't
chaos.
worry, and they do have a couple of annoying songs, but the one main annoying song, they made sure that they put one annoying song in there.
They actually had one of the songs. This movie has a few songs in it.
There's like 3 or 4.
The Gotham City Guys, which doesn't really spoil, but that's what it's called.
Yeah, I like that one.
I love that song.
And
Actually,
then
They have like a theoretical, the villain, or well, the kind of villain, and then
there's
whatever,
a
quote,
air
quote,
quotations
villain.
villain song.
Yes.
There's
I actually
well,
really
she
like
has
that
two.
one too.
She has 2 different.
the Gotham City
she's
one
in
is
the
also
Gotham
one of
City
hers,
one
but
as well.
I was trying not to.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah.
But I like that song a lot. They did 2 more, and then did
Yes.
remixes of Everything Is Awesome.
Yeah.
Which of course you'll never get away from Everything Is Awesome. Like
Yeah.
that was like, which it's funny. So when they're running, there's a shot where it's in real life, and you can see the Lego Oscar they were given.
Yes.
Since they weren't nominated, that was the only Oscar they were nominated for. Was
Yeah.
Best Original Song. It's not even the real Oscar; it's the Lego one they were given when they
Yeah.
did the.
There's just some great jokes in that movie.
The whole Mad Max reference, like to the
Yeah.
first part of the movie,
The opening
just
of the movie
cracks
is just
me
Mad
up.
Max.
It's
Yeah.
just it literally
They've got
just
all
cracks
these
me up.
apocalyptic looking vehicles and
Yeah,
stuff.
all the
like,
Legos, like it's been 5 years, and they're like narrating like through the terror of like what's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And I won't spoil why, I guess.
you just
but-
have like all these cute little enemies that are there, like from the trailer and stuff that you see. Like when they try to close the door and the little star gets stuck in the door.
and that's in the trailer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
too,
so that's not like a spoil. If
And
it's in
like,
the trailer, I
oh,
don't-
the pain! like, and like he opens the door and then this alien gets in. And you're like, oh, okay.
Emmett, no, nothing will get in.
Oh, something got in.
Yeah.
Like that joke was actually still really funny, even though it was in the.
You already saw
in
it,
the
like you
trailer.
already knew what was happening.
Yeah, you
but
knew it was
just
gonna
funny.
happen, but it's like they just play up like all this stuff of
They
like,
had a ton of references in this movie.
Oh,
too.
yeah, there's
the
so
Bruce
many-
Willis. They make it Bruce Willis.
They Bruce Willis is in it like
2 or 3
a few
times,
like
scenes.
yeah.
like 3 scenes, I think. Like
I can think of 2.
Oh no, yeah, it's 2. It's 2 because
I don't know if there's a third one mixed in there. They
Well,
made
anyway, but
a
yeah.
lot of references to a lot of different things that
Yeah.
like. Even if there's a kid watching it and their parents are going to just crack up
Yeah,
the whole time.
no,
So this is a very good family.
the best thing about it
movie
was
for the most-
everybody in the theater was popping for all the jokes. Like there wasn't, I think, a
Dude, these
scene
guys next to us,
that were laughing.
they laughed harder than we did, and I was like, dude, some of this is not that funny.
Yeah, but like
I was like, that's
They-
a ha-ha
yeah.
joke, but they're like, and I'm like, are they
losing
dying?
it.
I'm like,
I'm
are they-
always,
are they
I'm
okay?
always
Someone check
happy
on
to
them,
see
please.
that people just really enjoy
It's
the
us.
movie.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't
Like,
us this time.
it
It
wasn't
was
us
us
this
during
time.
Coco.
When we
Yeah.
saw Coco and the bell just dropped on that guy, I thought we were gonna get thrown out.
But yeah,
Like,
so
yeah.
I would actually go see this again in a movie theater.
I probably will when it actually comes out because there will be a whole lot more people that are going to see it. And I'm one of those people that after I see a movie, if I've gotten to see it early somehow, I want to see other people's reaction
Yeah.
and be a part of that crowd. That to me is as much a part of the movie going experience, which is why like for big movies I always try to go to like the IMAX or something.
Right. So I'll add in. Ryan touched a lot on a lot of things. The big things are Lucy, Rex Dangerfield, General Mayhem, Queen,
Whatever I will not be.
yeah, and Batman,
Batman.
are all main characters.
One thing I want to mention before I forget is a good cop, bad cop. He made a 2-second appearance, and I was so upset through the whole
They
thing.
probably Liam Neeson probably was like, I'm not coming back to another one.
I
And
really
they're like,
wanted-
they're like,
we just need a sound clip for you for like. 2
it's just
seconds.
it's taken
so
from
good.
Taken.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we'll find you, and they're like,
They just found the audio.
But so part of the thing with the
So
movie
good.
is this movie understands that this world there's a human world and there's a Lego world, so it plays a lot more into that aspect of it. There's a lot more humor and
Crisscrossing too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know because the first movie ends with this all being imagination to an
Yeah.
extent of a child, and so that or an adult / child, and so the movie makes sure it plays with that a lot more. So there's a lot of times where they make a joke, and I'm like, if you didn't see the first one, you didn't know the context of this is like a cross now of like
Right.
like this is a child's imagination. I was like, that might be a little weird, but
Yeah, that kind of side of it, when you break into the animation into real life for a second, you're like, oh, you're like,
Yeah.
it's just a weird feeling. But I think the one thing too is now that the kids are 5 years older, like that girl has like a very relevant role like within the imagination of everything, and you see her imagination come to life like through it, obviously.
Right, like you can tell what's the brother's imagination and what's hers.
Right.
Which I really like.
I thought all the side characters you were it's still really, voice acting is still really great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many unique characters in this one that I can't really go into great detail without spoiling it.
Yeah.
Because
It does suck that some of the characters from the first movie got sidelined, so we could have the new characters and have this other plot that's happening.
They have the big five though.
But I mean, like Benny, Unikitty, and the pirate Metalbeard don't get to do as much. That's just, I mean, like it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, and they go on a journey.
They're
So
with
like,
them.
Yeah,
they're with them.
Like the main five, like we just basically just named off. Like they all go on a journey basically. So the rest of the characters, you don't see them. So.
But they're there. But it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not
the same as the first movie.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I actually like this one more than the first one.
So my biggest reason is not so much. I think the humor is about the same level.
Yeah.
Story, same thing. Well, that's a lie. So I think the message the movie is trying to portray, I
That's
like it a
what I
lot.
liked
I
the
like it a
most.
lot more than the message of the first movie.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I haven't seen the first movie in probably 2-3 years.
That's fair.
But based on my memory of it, I would say I prefer Lego Movie 2 over Lego Movie 1. And granted, that's not going to be the case for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to feel different about it because I think some people are going to walk out of it and be like, that was good, but not as good, because comedy is a lot of it. Comedy is very subjective.
Yep.
And so, but I think the heart that this movie has...
The story development, I think, was a lot more intricate.
Yeah.
Because there's actually twists and stuff.
Which, one of my favorite jokes...
With an animation like that,
Right.
you don't see that much.
One of my favorite jokes is they set up the twist, some of the twist early on, and it's real quick, and I was like, did they just say that? And I was like, maybe I'm just...
Yeah, why'd they say that?
I was like, maybe I just misheard that. And then when the movie ends, I was like,
oh,
wow. I was
they
like,
set
I
that
almost
up.
wanted to just applaud because I was like, bravo, you did what you were going to do.
A kind of a serious type movie through Legos. So that's props to them.
Okay, so with that, your score.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay.
Probably an 8.
I'm going to... Wow, okay, this will be... we should have done this back. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Wow, okay.
So this was not intentional. I really liked it. My only real problems... There isn't many. It's just some of it is a little... Some of the jokes don't land.
Some of them don't land for me. I feel like at some points it feels like the movie's a little slower.
Yeah. It's not...
But,
I think it's as long.
Yeah.
But
it feels like it's going on a lot longer, I think.
Yeah, so our
There's this
theater,
gag
40
that
minutes...
they have in the movie, and I was like, oh, this is, like, the movie's done. And then you realize, oh, no, there's, like, another 20 minutes, and I was like...
Yeah, no, because our theater brings out the receipts at 40 minutes till the movie's over.
Right.
So they brought them out, I was like, no. I was like, it's like, we're at the end of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
And then it kept going, and I was like, oh. Which isn't... what they do for the rest of it, I like.
Yeah, I like it, but
so
it was just like...
my thing is whenever they have, like, this, like, where you think it's starting to get to the end...
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, my brain has, like, its automatic timer. I'm like, this is too early.
Yeah.
So I said this is either a really short movie, but I already knew it wasn't a short movie, so I already knew
I actually checked my phone.
Yeah.
They subverted my expectation.
Whenever that was
wow.
coming to a close, I knew something, like, it wasn't. But with all the jokes in there, with me, it wasn't that slow of a movie. I think they fill it up pretty well, so... It didn't seem that...
No, I mean,
because they put so many inside jokes and so many little things that if you're a very, if you're a detailed-oriented person, I guess, like in movies, you're going to catch a lot of things. So that kept me at least, going. I think the weird twist wasn't that, like... The twist itself was good, but, like, the actual wannabe, quotes villain, or whatever you want to call it, I didn't like that character at all. I know it's a Lego movie and stuff, but
yeah, there are characters I didn't care for.
Yeah,
but the story,
it wasn't bad, but the story
was
itself,
good.
The
and
story
message
between
itself,
Emmett and Lucy, and then the brother and the sister, I really like.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of I think there's a lot of thought put into this movie.
I
just,
think so.
Correlated with.
Do either of you guys get like almost in a weird way Toy Story vibes?
I continuously thought of Toy Story.
Yeah,
throughout
after
the
the
whole
first
thing.
one, that's the problem,
Yeah.
is because they introduced
I
that.
almost feel like it's this generation's Toy Story.
Yes,
in a weird
maybe.
way.
And when you go to Toy Story
Like-
3 and they're packing up the
The toys and
yes,
stuff,
you get
yeah.
that the next Lego movie could be something relevant
Similar to that, where like they're giving up the Legos or something.
Yes, or the older brother leaves and the younger
Well, I made a
which
joke.
Is the same kind
So
of Toy
I made a
Story.
joke to him,
Yeah.
and then we'll wrap this up and move on. I was like, they're going to wait until they're in college, so we're going to have to actually
another
wait
20 years.
10 years.
We won't get another Lego movie for 10 or 15 years.
Because they'll actually wait until the kids. Because this movie is made for kids.
Yeah,
that's what I said at the
obviously.
end of the day. Is this movie's for kids? This movie's for kids who grew up with the Lego Movie. We just happen to enjoy it because we enjoy what it represents.
Which one final point with that is a 5-year gap for kids.
Yeah.
Is a very big gap because most of those kids, if they're actually into Legos at that point, 5 years later, they're probably not into it. Which I thought was kind of weird that the brother was still like into Legos. Like I thought that was like the borderline age. So if they wait a few more years,
well, no,
they
Legos.
keep
the
that-
age is till 80, right? That's what the box says.
or
It's
99.
Legos is
Isn't
for
it
Till, it
99?
should say till death.
Till death. No,
Legos
they just say
are for
90
everyone.
Like, once you hit 100 or whatever, you're
I
just.
have Legos.
Yeah, there is an age. It's 99. It's like
I'm pretty sure it's yeah.
it's like 12 to 99, I think, something like that. Because it's like a certain age.
Specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, we are moving into Glass. That's a 5 thing, and I put down a 5. So we saw Glass
Glass was.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do the first half of this review. So when we give our score, that will be when we cut off, and we're gonna do a spoiler talk because I feel like part of Glass needs to be spoiled to discuss it.
Yeah.
So the first part of this will just be our very base opinions of the film. I'd sound like something was behind us. Our
There is
very
someone.
just straight opinions of the movie, how we felt about it, all the good jazz, and then we're gonna do a spoiler talk. So if you wanna, after our scores, you can just turn it off.
Yeah,
But-
that's fair because we don't want you to have the movie spoiled if you haven't seen it yet. 'Cause-
Which, yeah. So, the first time I saw Unbreakable, I actually hated it.
really,
But you're talking, I was probably 7.
yeah, that's fair. I was
And-
pretty young. It came out in what, 2001?
2000.
2000. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I saw it.
I was. Yeah, I
was really
7
bored
or
during
8.
it. About 5 years ago, probably. I did a Shyamalan rewatch of all his best movies, and I fell in love.
Yeah.
Love Unbreakable. So I want to open with that. I love love Unbreakable.
I watched Unbreakable for the first time, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't love it. Didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great by any means. It was very slow.
For a long time, it
And-
was my favorite
and-
Shyamalan movie.
In movies, I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just slow. And
Yeah.
some movie, and
It
I
is
was-
a slower
and
film.
some movies, depending on the content, if it's a slow film, it's just sometimes that's what gets me. But
Right, and so my only real problem with Unbreakable is the ending.
Yeah, the ending-
It's 19 years, so it just cuts to the text. It's like
Yeah.
when he learns that Glass is the
Yeah.
villain, and it just ends. I'm like, that kind of sucks. Just show a scene where he
Where
the
it
cops
gets
take him away.
Yeah, something.
Or he's in a cell and the cell door shuts. And
Yeah.
that'd been the end of Unbreakable. Wouldn't have a problem with it.
The ending is the only thing that I really have a problem with in that film. I think that is a big letdown.
Yeah.
Whereas Split, the next movie in the series, I think is strong the entire way through.
I do. I prefer Unbreakable
I
over
do
Split,
too.
though.
But I think everything about Split is so different from what they wanted to do with Glass. In a weird way, I feel like James McAvoy's character in that movie, I guess we'll just call him the Hoarder Kevin.
It's the
for
Horde.
this.
If we're going to do villain names, it's the
it's
Horde.
the
Like, I feel like he kind of stands out compared to Mr. Glass and David Dunn and
He is
Glass.
the odd one out.
Yeah.
So the reason I had us talk about this part to begin with is I think depending on which one you prefer is going to depend on how you like Glass.
That's
And that's fair. So I prefer Glass just a tad bit over Unbreakable.
I don't.
I mean Split. Sorry, not Glass. Sorry, Split. Split over Unbreakable, which is against Zach and Brandon a little bit.
Right. Now,
So.
because this movie has gotten crapped on by reviewers. I said a nerdy word. Dang it. Put down on that Minecraft
Brandon.
man.
How dare you?
It's been, it has a 30 somewhere in the 30 to 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's unfair to the movie.
It is.
But so let's talk about it then, and we'll talk about why I think it has that at the end. But I think everyone does really well in this.
All the actors do a phenomenal job in this movie.
The only one that I feel like you could make an argument for is Joseph, his son.
I guess, but even then, he's still super vital to the entire film. Like, I love what he did. Like,
it's just
all of his, like...
his supporting character or whatever isn't really that great of a support character.
Well, I'm just saying an actor. As an actor,
Oh, yeah, as an actor.
His acting is not great.
Yeah.
He's the only one that I'd be like, because, I mean, of course, it's James McAvoy is leaps and bounds. That's just because his character being able to like switch personalities and act the way he does, like which a lot of it is editing. I get that, but just the different personalities he has, the different way they're each unique.
Right.
And the hard part is
you can tell each of them are different.
For the son, like, it's hard to go up against. You got three big actors.
You've got Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson.
Yeah, you got those three. You got the big three there that have superpowers and all. Like, I mean, they've got a lot going on, and then you have like this little thing where you're like part of a security company,
right?
Or whatever, and,
and then you also on the other end. You have the girl from Split who came back.
Who unfortunately does not get as much time as she deserved.
But she also does really good in this movie.
And she has a better tie-in.
Right, because Split...
Yes.
I think between Split and Glass, it's only like 3 weeks or a month, I think, from what I understand. It's not a lot of time that passes.
They gonna mention it. They mention that in the movie.
He mentions how long he's been hunting the Horde.
Yeah.
So the movie opens... The opening of the movie, I think, is... arguably, if the movie had kept the pace of the opening, it would have been a 10.
Yeah.
The opening is everything everyone wanted because it's David Dunn hunting down the Horde, finding him, and then battling the Horde until they get captured.
Right.
And that opening is like it shows him going after some other people who like Superman punch a guy.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Punch him, Superman. And he just like no, you're done.
Yeah, Superman punch him. And you just see him throwing the wall.
He throws him into the wall, and it's just like, oh.
But like the opening of the movie is everything everyone wanted.
Right.
It's David being, it has a name. The Overseer.
Yeah.
Which is a freaking awesome name.
Yeah, I love that name. I like the outfit too because it's the raincoat.
Right.
Somebody pointed out now, I didn't think about it. He wears the raincoat because he's weak to water.
Right.
So it runs off him. I'm like, okay. I was like, that makes sense.
That's really clever.
I was like, now that you've said that.
You don't even think about that, though. Like,
yeah.
I just think,
I feel like what happened was he picked up the raincoat, and they go, let's make his weakness water. Like, it's just completely reversed, and then they go...
yeah, but they have a reason for why his weakness is water, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Right.
But I think Bruce Willis does well. He's not in it...
I wish he was
He's
in
not
it
in it enough.
Mm-hmm. For what feels like a sequel to Unbreakable, I feel like he's the one that's in it less than even Sam Jackson. Which is weird because Sam Jackson, for the first half of the movie, is like...
I have an argument for this, but I have to wait till the spoiler talk because I know what I want my argument to be when people say this.
Sure.
But I think everyone does really well. The doctor, the therapist woman,
I think she's probably the strongest in the movie next to Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
For me.
I think it's, in my eyes, it's just because of screen time, it's McAvoy, Jackson, and then her. And Willis is there, and he's good.
Right.
He's just, you can tell he's old, and he's
the third wheel out of the big three, and then the doctor. So, like, yeah, he's definitely the one taking the back seat in this movie, which I don't think is what people wanted. I think people wanted him
Doctor had way too much screen time, I think, compared to... I wish they would have reversed the screen time a little better.
If they had just cut 10 minutes out of the movie, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Is there...
But she did a really good... What's her... I don't even know what her name is.
Sarah something.
She did a really good job acting, I thought.
We'll look it up.
It's gonna drive me crazy if we don't. But yeah, no, I think it's actually... I think this movie is honestly a great way to conclude this trilogy for what Shyamalan wanted to do. From what I understand, he originally wanted the Beast to appear...
Sarah Paulson.
Okay.
So the original
the Beast and Unbreakable, from what I understand.
The original thing with Unbreakable is when he goes to take the guy out who kidnaps the family.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the Beast.
Right. That's what I've always heard, and I was like, that's really cool, but obviously for good reason he didn't do that. So because that would just be a whole other character to include right towards the end of your movie. So for me, I'm really glad that the Horde got its own movie with Split. but it feels so different.
Yeah, they are different movies, and trying to combine those two is probably its biggest
like
problem.
One's like a horror, and then one's like a drama.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard to mix those two together, especially because you're taking a way different tone for what Split was and trying to adapt that character to the Unbreakable, I guess, genre.
And
really.
this is a one-of-a-kind type of movie. There's nothing, like, with trying to conjoin both of those and then trying to even out first the screen time and then mashing their characters up on how they would react to each other is very interesting. Then you add Samuel L. Jackson just into this realm, I think. And that's where he should be the third part. But then you have the Doctor who's trying to, like, keep everything like in line, and I don't really like that much. I wish they kind of got to be on their own a little bit more and not regulated as much.
They're in that hospital for
it's the entire
probably
movie.
the entire
75 to 80% of the time, pretty much.
I'd say after like what 10 minutes.
I think it's 20 minutes, and then it cuts him in the hospital.
Yeah,
which the movie's like 2 hours.
Borderline spoilers.
Well, I mean,
the trailers are all in the hospital. Like they don't have really. Yeah. So. We'll give a quick score because my defending part is going to be in spoilers. Yeah. So reasons, which I think is just the only way to really address this. It's really well acted. If you're a fan of Unbreakable, you'll like this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, I strongly recommend it. Even with the negativity, I just recommend you give it a shot. You might like it, you might hate it. Who knows? Form your own opinion. So for me, I give it an 8.5. I feel like if it was just cut down a little bit more, I would have liked it. But overall, it's a great film. It's a great way to start off this year.
I would give this movie a solid 8. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it.
You're going to give it a 9?
I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
Based on the reviews and stuff, I was like, oh no, they're going to...
Oh, I was very sad. I was very
sad.
They're
going to completely destroy this. But I was pleasantly surprised with the performances and just everything else that Shyamalan did to wrap up the trilogy. So yeah, my score is an 8.
Mine's a 7.5. So, I like the acting. I like how everything was. I think he had a lot to do with, 3 main characters. You throw the Doctor in there, she becomes a main character, basically. Then you have the 2 sidekicks for each movie, basically. And trying to put that all together. The ending, which we'll talk about that in the spoiler part, is where that really kicks in for me.
Yeah.
I respect how he did it, and not necessarily the ending, but just the whole movie itself and how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
I definitely think that there needs to be a few things that probably should be corrected. I don't know how to do that exactly, but I have a few ideas. But with that kind of drove down the score a little bit. I definitely like a few parts of it. It's different. It's definitely nothing that I've ever seen in a movie, perhaps, with characters like that. Intertwined in a hospital. But that's just kind of where I came down to with that score.
So anyone who's tuning out, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll cut right into our
and please subscribe to everything that we have.
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, the whole shebang. We are on Google Play now. I don't think I could have said that last time.
I don't know. It's been 3
so.
weeks.
I don't know if anybody's listening on Google Play.
YouTube.
Yes.
Any tube or Facebook or cloud.
No, that's not true.
Tunes no.
Not all the tubes.
I know. I caught that. YouTube.
Yes, just YouTube. That's the only one.
What's the other tubes?
We're not getting into that.
Okay, so there is no other tubes. It's just YouTube. So, but iTunes, yes.
We're on that
SoundCloud.
Christian YouTube.
Well, they had Science Tube one time. I remember in the class.
Oh
that
my
a
gosh!
thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you want to stick around, we're doing the glass spoiler talk now.
Woohoo!
So, want to wait a second. So that was your chance to turn it off. If you haven't turned it off, you're on your own.
Too late.
That's it.
Samuel L. Jackson blows up a giant plane, and snakes rain down and kill Bruce Willis. And they're actually water snakes, and that's how it all ends.
That's how he dies.
Yep.
And then the beast just runs away off into the wilderness.
He gets ran over by a train.
Yeah, he gets
The
ran
train
over by
that
the
killed-
train that
so-
killed
Yes.
his
No,
father.
hold on.
Yeah.
So his dad
They got put back together.
His dad caused the train wreck because his dad stood on the tracks and the train hit him and flipped over him. And so Kevin's character is like, I'm gonna go kill myself to make up for it, so I can die like my dad did.
And then the girl from Split starts talking in different voices.
And
Now
she-
she's the one that's...
Yes, and now the next movie, there will actually be a next movie.
It's called Train.
The Train, and it's her versus the son. Or the
Her
son
and the
has
son
no
have to-
powers.
Her and the
so-
son have to team up to take out these killer trains. Okay, but for real. So
No, that was actually it.
yeah, that was the spoilers. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
I think this movie is not David's movie. This is
No,
Mr.
it's not.
Glass, and that's why it's called Glass.
Right.
I think that's part of the problem is everyone who wanted an Unbreakable sequel,
Wanted David Dunn.
it's wanted Dunn's character, wanted to see more hero work, wanted to see him hunt down the beast.
Right.
This is through all of it, even though the first part of it does not have him, he doesn't talk until later on, is Glass movie and Glass's plan. Like it is Sam Jackson's movie.
And I, in a weird way, like and dislike that.
Yeah, I wanted
just a bit more of David and the Beast at the beginning.
Yeah, I wish
If
the
you
fight had
That
lasted
opening
longer.
should have went a bit longer, but it all makes sense by the end. Like with the twist of how the doctor isn't actually there to convince them that they're normal people, but they're trying to hunt down
Yeah, it's an
superheroes.
organization there to take out superheroes because gods cannot exist among them.
Right. And originally,
They try to convince that they're not gods,
Right.
or whatever.
They're
That
trying to convince them
The
they're not these
doctor-
heroes
yeah.
or these.
And in
and
the
then
one,
otherwise, if they can't, then they kill them.
Right.
And
Yes.
for a long time, they left David Dunn alone because
He wasn't really doing anything.
right. But she mentioned it was because of the Beast that changed.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken while they were drowning David in the puddle
That
of
was
water.
so.
No,
I
here we
was-
go.
I was
we went
sad.
straight to it.
That
Like-
that saw. Okay, so all of them die.
Yeah, they
That's
all died.
the movie's polarizing because they all die.
Which-
The problem with David's death, and David is the only one I really have the problem with dying.
yeah,
It's not because I do wish I'd seen more movies with him,
yeah,
but he dies in the dumbest way where he just gets, like, his head's just pushed in the water and he drowns in, like, a puddle.
right.
If he had, I wish he had been in the, like, container still.
Right, like just fighting to get out of the container.
Yeah, like the
or-
beast had gotten out,
Yeah.
and then Anna Joy, Taylor's character, comes up and starts talking to him, and then Sarah reaches in and touches him, like pretending to pull him
He
out.
finds out.
He
and then
sees the
she
vision
pushes
and he
him
just
down.
dies.
Yeah.
I would have liked that a lot more. I think though they want. If you notice though, like Kevin's character gets that goodbye with Casey, and then Glass gets to see his mom, and then find out that he was right.
Yeah, Joseph doesn't get that goodbye with David.
No, they get.
Yeah.
They get
Sorry,
the-
pops.
they almost in a weird way get peace in their death. David did not, and I think that was to show that this world isn't fair.
Yeah.
Like.
But they do talk about how anytime a hero appears, a villain does as well.
Right.
So it's the rule of two. So this is actually in the Star Wars
yeah,
universe.
no,
So there's actually-
no, so I was.
there's another
that's
hero
actually
out there.
in my head of like things I was going to mention.
Yeah, there's got to be a reverse to the Horde.
I would think, maybe.
The Mord.
I don't know, but like for me, like I
The
love.
Lonely. The Only. What's the reverse of a Horde? Nothing?
Yeah, one singular lone wolf.
There's just
Nothing.
There's just nothing.
I don't know, but like
What's the hero that fights against me? Nothing.
I would
Oh, gosh.
love, absolutely love to see a film about this Clover organization.
I would. I wouldn't.
Oh.
I don't want it to be like a sequel to this movie, but like maybe something from like a
Well,
long time
they
ago of like
open-
a bunch of different gods
The-
or heroes.
Well, they open- they do-
fighting
They
them.
open up a whole new like
They open-
plot line,
right.
storyline, but like I will not like. I can already tell you I won't like it just because unless they somehow bring him back to life or they tell
No,
some
it would be
backstory or
here.
something.
Here
so.
would be my theory if they move forward. I don't know if I want a sequel. It'd be Anna Taylor-Joy
Mm-hmm.
and whatever Joseph's actor. It'd be them hunting new heroes, like not
Yeah,
hunting, but
finding
being like,
Which
hey,
would be very interesting because
Right.
he's like all tech, so he'd be like the support character and she'd
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like the actual
But like
aggressor.
what I love is, even though this was like a movie specifically about the three of them, Glass's plan is brilliant.
yeah, I love his plan.
Like,
And he knew they were gonna die.
yeah, he knew. He had that set up from the beginning. Like, I love everything about that twist of him instead of setting up this big showdown at this tower where everybody can see these heroes. Instead, he's been live streaming everything the entire time.
Yeah, well, he streams it all to backup servers,
Right.
and then his mom, Casey and Joseph release
all
which
get the data, and then they release it, and they're all at the train station where everything went down and everything came together. And I thought that was a really beautiful way to like end the trilogy in a weird way, because now
come full circle.
Yeah, it came full
More
circle.
heroes are born based on the actions
Based
of
on
them.
that.
After
When
they
he
all,
said it was an origin story, I finally got it. I was like, why is this so important? It was because there's other heroes out there.
like when they die, like you almost think it's just going to end right there, and I'm glad they didn't cut that, because that would have been almost more.
Yeah,
annoying,
I think some
probably.
people would have been even more mad.
Yeah,
no,
so I'm
I
glad
love-
that happened, because then you get a little bit. It repairs a little bit of the closure kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I love how the Doctor is just there at the comic book store looking through them, and like there's just those guys in the background, and they're talking. He's like, "No, this guy's so smart. He's got you thinking one way, but really he's got a whole different plan."
She starts to, like, think
and then
about
she
it, she goes,
realizes
"Oh,
it.
She's
She's
like, why would he go through the basement?
right,
And then she
because
goes-
that's where all the cameras are.
Yeah.
Like I loved that.
So that whole part, like helps
Right.
get your brain
It
connected
helped
with
me
it, and you're like,
enjoy the
okay,
ending
you're
a
like,
lot more.
okay.
Because if it was just them dying,
And those
And
are
then, like-
fantastic movies whenever they
Yeah.
run through that whole situation. I love those. That's
I
some
love
of my
that type
favorite
of
type
reveal.
of movie where you're like trying to think through it, but you can't stay ahead because there's too many little details. So I want to make this point, not to get us too sidetracked from like this.
I mean, we should
conversation
actually
going.
talk about
No,
why,
like-
and then that's just spoiling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, no. So one of the things that I think is a little bit weird with how the whole movie itself is set up is, and not to compare it to anything else because this is its own show itself, is we're used to like each character having its own movie. And this
Right.
isn't superheroes in general or any, like we have our DC in the Marvel universe. And you may see where I'm getting with this a little bit. So Glass almost has his own movie with this, even though they're intertwined.
Yeah.
Just like some of the Marvel movies, their other characters are
Yeah.
entwined with it, but it's
Yeah.
Glass's movie. With that in mind, the ending to this could have been a whole different movie, and they could have set it up
Yeah.
for a bigger event kind
Yeah.
of thing, and not necessarily. But I know Glass would have probably had a weak storyline if they didn't take too much. This closure
Yeah.
didn't happen. But thinking through it, and I know. Gosh, I don't know. I never,
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan. I didn't want to say mess up his name. I know he didn't want to do another movie.
Well,
I
yeah,
know
his
this is-
original notebook, he always walks around, he's like, it was a trilogy, it was always a trilogy. I don't believe some of that, but
But with that in mind, if
Mm-hmm.
then that's maybe why it has
Yeah.
to become that way. I wish they almost had their own three
I do
movies where they're
too.
correlated, and then you
Yeah.
have that one big movie,
one big-
like the Avengers. Just
Yeah.
kind of like like in a thing where and it opens up kind of a different storyline from that. Where it's almost a split kind of thing. No.
my only, I agree. I wish the Clover thing was set up in any other movie, or
Yeah.
even at the beginning of the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
even if
It-
it was,
it comes
or
out
I
of
know
nowhere
it was
almost.
19 years ago or whatever,
Right.
it was Unbreakable, and
Yeah.
I know that maybe they didn't think through all that at that point. But if they had some indication of some tie-in possibly back then,
Well, even if at the beginning of the movie, like, let's say the cops who arrested him, if they did a quick shot across them
Yes.
and they all had clovers,
Yeah.
and you're like,
That's weird.
because this is almost like a reference to Winter Soldier, or is it Winter Soldier?
which one? What do you?
No.
What reference? Hydra,
Yes, Hydra. Yeah,
Winter Soldier?
where they start, and
where it reveals
Literally,
that
yeah.
Shield is Shield is corrupt and
Yeah.
Yes, but it's almost so. My mind kind of goes back and forth with that a little bit through this. But
Yeah.
if it had a bigger setup, I think this end fight or this end showdown wouldn't have been as disappointing to me. Like
Yeah.
and the fighting is like at the very end. I get it. And you question when the doctor's going through it. I actually starting to question. I'm like, maybe this is like a whole big plot twist. Maybe they're
yeah, I
not
did.
actually.
For a minute, I was
Yes,
like, huh.
and she had me fooled a little bit, which is interesting because that's what she was
Like,
trying to do.
the entire whole
Yes.
premise is
Where-
to deceive
and you're
these
like,
people.
is this whole thing like literally them just thinking there's something that they're not?
Right.
And, like,
I love that scene where all three of them are in the room with her, and she's talking to Dave, and she's like, I think you're just a really good guesser. You can just do like what magicians do and just calculate odds in your head. You bump into this guy, and he just happens to have red clay on him, and he looks suspicious. So you go and you check this out, and you find these girls. Like, you go around
Yeah.
and you listen to people and look for things, and you go after them. And I was like, if like he didn't have that feeling like when he touched people he could see what they do, I could see him not believing that he
Well,
was
that was the
a
most
hero.
believable one out of all
Yeah.
of them, obviously. So
And I think that he was actually convinced in this movie that he wasn't special until he
Well,
broke
and-
down the door.
Yeah, until he was like until the end, until Glass basically was
And
like,
got him to come
Right.
out of his
Yeah.
Right
zone.
at that point, and that's my favorite part of the movie is when he gets out and he
Well,
goes and
even-
he gets the rain
Even
jacket
when he
back.
knocks down the door, in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe he just got enough like,
yeah, but no,
to
then
do
it
it.
shows like the
Yeah,
dents coming in. You see
exactly.
like,
Right.
yeah,
I thought that was a powerful moment for David's
Mhm.
character, especially
And then
considering
10
how
minutes
he
later
goes
he dies.
out. Right, but like I thought, wow, that's something a hero would do.
Mhm.
You know, so like any doubt that he had in his mind that he wasn't special was squashed when he got through the door. And then I love everything with the Beast, like how the lights cause him to like switch personalities and stuff. That was
Which
one of
the
my
acting performance on
right,
that.
like
Mm.
he just
switching-
switched through
actually
like what,
switching.
like 8 or 9 of the personalities.
There may have been more, to
Yeah.
be honest, but
But like, the first time when he's trying to escape and like he goes through,
he's
like,
just doing the run.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing Hedwig, he's doing Patricia, he's doing Dennis,
he
Barry,
did, he did a
Jade.
couple ones
He
that
did
we had
he
not
did a
seen
country
before.
guy that
Yeah.
spoils movies.
Yeah.
He spoke Spanish. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, this guy is amazing. Like
One of the things
that
I like
performance is so good.
is when he's running at the end of the movie
Mhm.
to fight David. That looks
Full
like
gallop.
Beast from the X-Men, like better
Yeah.
than
Yes.
Beast from the X-Men does.
Yeah,
when
no,
he
it
runs.
looks so
The
cool.
I was like, finally we got it
Yeah.
right, and it's not even in the X-Men movies.
Yeah. No, but see, we didn't even talk about the other twist yet. Like, we have the twist where they all die, right?
You're
And,
talking about
the-
the Kevin one.
reveal. The Kevin twist that he created,
He created both of
he
them.
created both of them. I thought that was really cool.
I did. I also thought that was the easiest twist to call because I
Right.
had that feeling when we watched Split.
Right.
'Cause he
I
goes
thought
to the
so
train
too when he goes to
station,
the train station.
And
But
I was like,
I felt like that was really built up well, though, to connect it to Unbreakable.
Mhm.
That's why I think that works. Because up until that point, I'm like, man, this character really doesn't belong. But then once you have, like, Joseph, which his whole thing was finding out who Kevin's parents were,
yeah.
and, like, discovering, oh, he was created as a result of what Mr. Glass did. I thought that was really cool. It's predictable once you, like, see that he's investigating that, and if you've watched Split and you see
I
that he
think
goes to the
once
train
they
yard,
reveal it, you're like,
that makes sense.
you're probably sitting there like, I probably thought that on my second viewing of Glass,
Yeah,
but your first time you're like, why is he at a train station?
yeah.
But I think for me that was like that
When
wasn't
I
for
saw
me
that,
a twist because I was like.
wow. Okay.
I was like, yeah. I mean, I thought that when we saw Split, I thought
Yeah.
that was good. It needed to. It was cool. It was there
it's
because he
good
created
it
both
con-
of them.
Right.
But
It connects that character who is definitely the loose end of the two to the other two, which I thought was heavily needed, and I thought it was a really cool way to just bring everything back together and help it tie full circle at the end. Because otherwise, why would Casey be sitting there with Joseph and Glass's mom? You know,
Mhm.
like, so all those characters have an important tie-in to the train station and to the train crash itself. So it just makes the beginning just as important as the end. All of that is one origin that takes place over the 19 years
Yeah.
for all three of them, which I thought was a really good way to wrap up a trilogy, is to actually say, hey, this is just the origin of the heroes that I have in my universe that I've built.
so I mean,
I don't think there's any more that I can really say.
yeah, I'm kind of
Like,
I'm out unless you have something else you want to just.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the movie. I love
I think
Glass's
it's-
character on
Mhm.
going, the mental.
when
Like,
you
thought
finally
process.
realize that he's been like deceiving them the entire time.
When he
And,
flips
like,
up the,
he flips the thing,
when he flips the,
And he's like,
the
I switched my
pills or
medicine with
whatever.
aspirin,
Yeah,
and like he
'Cause
goes
that's-
in and he disables the lobotomy machine, and then he kills that guy.
Yeah, and the dude's like, "Hey, your photos are all crooked," and he's just like, and slits his throat, and you're like, "Huh."
I was like, oh snap, Glass
Yeah.
is here, and he's not messing around. He's got a plan.
And, like,
he's
I
getting
like how
out of
fast
here.
his arm moved.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about that. I'm like,
Which I was thinking, what if he I thought he maybe broke his elbow doing that because of how just fragile his bones are. And
Well,
stuff.
I think it was a up motion,
Yeah.
so it was
Yeah.
just, it wouldn't have like as long
I
as
guess, yeah.
his arm just flies off.
It just breaks and like his bone splints through, and that's what he kills him
Yeah.
with. Oh, that would have been nasty. Oh,
all
Alright.
extreme.
So thank you for anyone who tuned in to this last part. I enjoyed Glass a lot. Definitely recommend it. Form your own opinion.
yeah.
So anyway, Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Thanks,
and like I
guys.
said, just remember to subscribe, share our content. We're trying to keep on growing here. So if you have any ideas for any of our shows or at least a part of our show, just share it in the comments or email us. So other than that,
Next week will be Kingdom Hearts 3 and How to Train Your Dragon 3. So
That's for you.
Yes, and that's for you.
I'll be talking about both those.
Awesome. Thanks for watching.